again.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, okay, we memed it a little bit in the chat previously, but we're like, what season is this? Where Jax gets like B1 and R1 prior, but I think it's more of a case of Kerberos is really good at Jax, but it's even better because he takes it off Jaxplank's hands. Now, I thought that maybe something like a Gangplank could have a lot of value over picking the Udyr right there and getting Jaxplank onto something that he's extremely proficient on. I mean, heck, it's half of his summoner's name, right? So they feel like Gragas could be the same deal, but I'm looking around and I see so many mobile champs, especially towards the tops of the map, the Jax, the Lee Sin, the LeBlanc. It's going to be so difficult to hit any of them with the body slam, with the barrel later on. I feel like Jaxplank's target will most likely consist of the Voxne and then Voxne alone, trying to bring that Varus close to the fight just so he can get one-shot by something like the action and like the Lucian. Of course, talking about the action is not something that we necessarily see a lot of, and I'm really very keen to see how the matchup versus the LeBlanc goes, because of course playing press the attack, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, you hit the LeBlanc, but what is the trading pattern between the action and the LeBlanc is going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah, and actually kind of going back to the Akshan and LeBlanc as well, kind of just while we're continuing talking about it. This is such an irritating lane to play LeBlanc in because he just annoyingly pokes you away. Like, the kill pressure shouldn't really be there unless you're making like a massive mistake on the LeBlanc. But also, the kill pressure for you in the 1v1 just is not there. Because as soon as you land like the kill on him or you jump forward and try to land a chain, he just swings off. It's such an irritating lane. This is like, for a long time, this was actually a permaban for me. Not because like I lose to it all the time, just because I wouldn't win to it. Like, it's such a pain. It's such a pain of a lane.
Oh wait, Linces did red chickens straight into that mid lane. Remember last time, Buckland gets that 1 kill very early on,
yeah.
and the game just ends.
I mean, if you get him before he changed, got the interrupt. That was really well played. The kick is there. Buckland, can he secure the kill? No, it's Linkus coming in. Absolutely beautiful.
That was so freaking well played from Buckland, because he gives no room from Faison. Unless he flashes away underneath his tower, he has no other place to hop onto, and Faison chooses to use his bungee right there instead of flashing away. Buckland plays that so freaking well to hop back into his shadow, into his initial W, sorry, the distortion, and use the chain from there. And this is very scary right now because, again, the mid-jungle duo of Dusty, just 2 minutes into the game, have pulled off the flash of Faison. Let's look at this one more time. Buckland distorts forward to try and get a reaction from Faison. He gets exactly that, interrupts the swing as well, and Linces will flash forward to slow, making sure that the subsequent Q will land once the chain pins him in place as well. Very well coordinated stuff from the Dusty mid-jungle, and now we're just expecting more and more action in the mid-jungle duo area, especially since Faison is missing his flash.
Yeah, but actually Linkus is coming up towards this top side, hoping that Jaxplank jumps onto Curb. Curb actually maybe been a little bit of a over-eager actor there, stepping forward. Is going to jump into the pocket here. They're going to land everything they need onto him. The belly bop's there, and the minion wave means Linkus can't land a Q. Jaxplank will be able to survive. They will be able to shove the wave in, though. Maybe get a play over to Curb, although Jaxplank wants to try and contest this. There is no backup about at the moment, but Faison is running over as quick as possible and will be able to get there, but they do decide just to back it off. And actually, Demvoxy too close to the bush. Why would he go that close? What? What was Demvoxy doing? No, sorry. Why? Why would you just blindly walk into that bush?
Okay, so that bot lane wave was pretty screwed. It was pushing for Dusty, which means that you need jungle assistance if you want to walk up. And since your Lee Sin is at the top side of the map, it's pretty fair to say that you're expecting the enemy jungler to be invading your own jungle. So it should have been expected that that Udyr should be somewhere inside the jungle of Linces. Maybe the chickens, maybe the golems. It was the golems, and then Vox ends up being punished. I think what he tried to do there was get in the shortest route to the tribush to try and ward it up, but not knowing the whereabouts of Udyr, and with Nami being gone from the map, you have to respect Fog of Ward, and Voxnet did not. Gives 1 kill over to Stefan Udyr.
Yeah, that was a pretty criminal mistake coming in from him. But, you know, it's not the end of the world. didn't go over to the likes of Kevo or Faison or someone. Yes, you don't want the Udyr getting ahead, but, you know, a mistake was made. Denvoxy did lose a little bit of farm for it, and I don't think he'll be making that mistake again in a hurry. Curb, though, this is actually a much worse lane for him than the previous one versus Jax Plank when Jax Plank was on the Darius. He is getting pretty heavily shoved in and poked out. Has got himself a pretty significant farm lead just thanks to the attention that Linkus gave when he went topside earlier on. So Curb is actually farming himself up quite comfortably here, but this time around, we are seeing some pretty nice kind of just scouting vision coming down consistently by Riddle. They had some wards in the bottom side a moment ago. They have now timed out, but Jax Plank has placed a ward down in that top side. You can see that the Gromp is gone. He probably expects that Linkus is going to be moving towards the bot side at the moment. So his mid and his bot should be working with the information that Linkus most likely isn't in that top side. And they don't really have much vision down here to work with. So Linkus at the moment is in the shadows, but will be spotted out by this ward as he makes his way over. It's a large
they're pushed
wave.
too far. They're pushed too far, and Nash is only level 4. There are flashes on the Riddle bot lane, but Linkus is also there.
Oh, the hook comes out. The flash is there by Nash. I don't think Denvoxy really wanted to take that fight because he was down a lot of farm, and that was a big wave pushed into it, but the fight is breaking on. Backline's going to have to distort over the wall. Has got level 6, so he can dash away again. Oh, no, he can't. He's already used it, but that's that flash, so he was okay. He was able to distort away.
Yeah, and I feel like Dusty are constantly looking for pressure on the map, especially since they got that one kill onto their Lee Sin. They got the whip as well in the inventory. They're trying to use that as much as possible. But right here, because the kill was given over to an Udyr as well, Bami Sinter, you've got steel caps in the inventory as well. It means a lot of auto attackers like the Jax, like the Lee Sin, like the Varus will be doing way less damage, especially that early into the stages of the game where you don't necessarily have too much punch into your auto attacks, and also the damage being diminished by the steel caps means that I feel like Stefan's Udyr right now can actually dictate the pace of how this game is going to go in the early game. So Dusty need to find ways to try and play away from the Udyr.
Yeah, they really do actually. Is you know, we are seeing a little bit of early action did break out in the mid lane, but since then it's been relatively quiet. Backland has a marginal lead over Faison, nothing really too major. Curb at this point, now that he's got the Sheen, is starting to bully Jax Plank around, especially now Jax Plank's starting to bleed out in the mana bar area, but Stefan is rotating over, and this could be very, very messy because they've actually also got Nash in the area. Curb just wants to shove the wave in, and I actually think Jax Plank was thinking about just calling it off, but he didn't have TP, so yeah, it's too risky for him just to give this wave up. So he's just going to make sure he catches it, and Curb's going to get to either free rotate over towards this Rift Herald, but will be spawning up now, which it looks like he will be doing with Linkus. They will be spotted out by the Scuttle Crab. Stefan has also placed a ward down, and I think Riddle are just willing to give this one up. They don't really want to fight for it.
Yeah, and I think the fact that also Jax Plank hadn't necessarily really backed, he didn't have an item. You mentioned it, Kerberos. I'm going to be calling him Jax Plank from now on because he's playing Jax. But no, Kerberos did have a Sheen in his inventory, which means he had already reset, he had already backed, he was full mana, full HP, whilst Jax Plank had actually used most of his mana, his HP, to try and push Kerberos away from that lane, try and farm the rest of that wave that was pushing underneath his tower. So that means this is a pretty free Herald for the side of Dusty, and I'm looking forward to see where they're actually going to use it, because every single lane right here makes sense. Freeing Kerberos onto the map could make a lot of sense, but you don't necessarily want to do this because then you give a lot of farm free for the side of Jax Plank, as Kevo is going to use his culling onto Stan to check him down. But then again, I think it's most likely going to be mid lane because you want to be freeing that LeBlanc on the map.
Yeah.
Not having an obligation to get back into your mid lane, get that wave, and actually roam around. And also, the amount of vision that this tower going down gives your team, especially when you're playing assassins and aggressive champions like the Lee Sin LeBlanc, I think is going to be extremely full value. Now, the only problem is you need to get people out of mid lane in order to take that tower, or simply just use it for pressure and then bleed into Dragon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's typically what we do see, is a lot of people use those use Rift Herald, at least the first one in the middle, the bot, to kind of translate that into Dragon power. But this game versus the last game is very different. I think, you know, Dusty are still looking confident, but not as dominating as they were in the previous game. And I think that's kind of due, in fact, to the fact that Riddle were playing somewhat more kind of more smart right now. I guess that's not the right way to word that, but that's how I'm going to word it. You know, they were making mistakes in that first game, which Dusty were very quick to snap up and punish. It feels right now like Riddle are playing a way slower paced game. They are, you know, their top and their bot are definitely lanes that typically are a bit harder to kind of just pick up and overextend and make a mistake with, because you obviously got, you know, so much space to buy with the cask and the belly bop from the Gragas, obviously the swing from the Akshan. Obviously it can be interrupted. We saw how they outplayed it on that level too, but for the most part it's definitely harder lanes to punish on the top side, and then the bot lane are just being a little bit less aggressive when they don't have their jungler nearby. And I mean, then again, Dim Voxney made that massive mistake bot lane, which is also kind of bled into this. So it's gonna be an interesting next kind of like 5 minutes. Obviously we've got that rift tail to go down. I'm curious to see how that's going to affect the game. You know, there is a world where they actually just say screw mid lane. Let's actually just slap it top lane and get Curb like mega split pushing early, because he's always a nuisance inside lane. He's like, I've been following Curb for a very long time, and I'm used to seeing how he plays, and he is. I get ahead, I grab, I just take towers, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I feel like one thing that I always disagree with putting that Rift Herald top lane is that if you're in a winning matchup, it sort of neutralizes it, because you keep on shoving the wave constantly into opponent tier 2, and you cannot necessarily overextend it to tier 2. So at some point you're going to push another wave, you're going to get caught, people are going to get kills on you, you're going to get a shutdown if you're not very careful, which is something that we've seen Curb being punished when he overextends to pressure that wave. But I would really love to get that LeBlanc unlocked onto the map, or very simply use those that bots of the map, get that Voxney ahead onto his Varus. I think right now the problem that Dusty is really falling into is this Udyr has that one kill. He has the steel caps, and you're running 3 auto attackers on your team, plus the Bamisinda, which does a bunch of damage in the early stages of the game. It just makes it really difficult for them to actually face Udyr head on. So as long as they manage to use that Rift Herald to try and get the attention of Riddle away from wherever they want to play and go for a different objective, I think they'll be fine. But I think right now, the fate of Riddle does lie on Stefan, and if he's going to be there on the objectives in time to zone Dusty away, because he's incredibly strong.
Yeah, I think Stefan is definitely going to be the key point here for Riddle to be playing around. It's going to be, for me, I'm going to be watching, you know, the next few moments beyond that Rift Herald and kind of what the decision making is after that. Because, you know, there's almost a very clear plan of how you use Rift Heralds, or different ways in which you can use those Rift Heralds. But what you get in response after that is, you know, there won't be another Rift Herald for a little bit. If they easily take a dragon, then sure. Is it just sit back and keep farming? Is that actually a playable option here? You know, what is going to be the game plan, I guess, after that Herald? I mean, I don't know. I'm sure Trouble will know, but I'm not actually going to give her the option to, because I'm going to throw it back over to Archer while we wait to finish up this ongoing pause. So over to you, Archer.
We're also here, you
listen
know.
to Trouble.
We're also here.
Like
I would like, yeah, Georgia. What? Come on, what's going on?
I like Trouble's in pool.
I'm sorry, guys, you can't see me, but I can't tell you right now. I can't tell you.
She's
Mom!
in spirit.
Keeper is not letting me. Get me on the screen.
We're professionals here, everybody.
Let's
Hello.
bring the professional again. Let's talk about how is this game going? Let's understand the 2 points of view. How is Dusty playing? How is Riddle playing? Save us.
You must be truly desperate if you're coming to me for professionality. Okay, so let's get into it though, because we in the pregame kind of took the summer Riddle angle in terms of how do they get back into this game. Let's see if they can isolate a top lane matchup, get Jax Blank ahead. However, they are going towards more of actually the Aurora open style, which is actually saying Kevo is the real carry right now. Let's leave nullifying top. They pick the Gragas there, and we'll play towards bot side instead. And the way they end up doing that is they have the Gragas, cool, does well into the Jax, behind a bit in CS, that's fine. But they take this Udyr, which can actually impact the game early, and slam Den Voxney's Varus when he tries to come back to lane. So we actually have, while there has been an opening in mid lane from Dusty, and that is a very dangerous thing to give, there are some signs to work around, is actually saying, actually, Kevo's in a pretty good spot now. This Varus isn't going to be the most powerful thing ever, and the Lucian Nami is actually a power point for them, so that's good signs.
What about the other side, Initialize? How is Dusty playing through this one? Because I know LeBlanc, Lee Sin is kind of a hot topic.
Yeah, I mean, like they managed to make it work, right? They get the level 2 gank off. It is red Raptors.
If
straight
only
to
we could
mid.
see that. Oh,
Yeah.
we could see it.
Wonderful. Go, Alex. Explain. Why does this
so
break up?
what it is you see LeBlanc leads in, you think, mid lane's going to be a bit difficult. And Facing goes, no worries, guys. I've got the action. I'm not too certain about the hook shot, but he ends up going towards an area that what's it called? The heroic swing? Is that it?
It's heroic swing. Yes.
Heroic swing.
cool.
Yeah, you should learn all
Got
the
that one.
abilities from action.
I really should at some point, but I think this really again shows that Dusty understand where their win conditions are, and they understand that actually mid jungle, that's where they've got their power through. The Lee Sin and LeBlanc, they get that kill, they get ahead, and that's typically worked out very, very well for Dusty. I do think though that it is very important that Riddle didn't just stall out at that though. They did have a counter push, and that was towards that bot side.
Okay, when you look into the rest of the map, is anything bleeding that you want to point out? Because you know they're playing for the Lucian, the other ones are playing for the LeBlanc. What about the top side?
Well, the top side's kind of just been pretty stable, with the exception that Jax is getting slight leads, but that's fine. The Gragas will survive that. It will be hard to remove a Gragas from under his tower eventually. You've got so many tools to do that. The issue, of course, though, is they tried to make this happen right now.
So close.
And it gets really close, because you can see Jax playing very low on mana, but just enough with the passive to get the double body slam and get out. And then the Q doesn't quite go there because Linces expects to step away. And all the while, there's a freeze in bot lane. And that's a
all
problem.
of a sudden, it seems like we are ready to jump into the
Oh.
Summon's Rift. So I don't know why we're looking into the bot. I mean, let's look into this. Let's give it
This is just a wave frozen. Varus walking back to lane, Riddle there to respond. Dusty, they put the resources top side and they're gonna get slammed in bot. So anyway, this is the bright spark that we're talking about.
There you go. As easy as it gets.
Hello.
That's the easy kill. Wait, Mom? Well, let's toss it to the Rift. There she is.
I'm here. Hello. Hey, we're
back.
back.
Hey, here we go. Getting ready to go back into that game. All right.
Call me mum.
I
He's older
didn't.
than me. What the hell?
He is an old man. He refuses to admit it, but he is an old man. Bless him. I hope he can hear us. I don't know. He can't? Oh, no. He'll never know. Everybody tweet at Archer, you're an old man, please. I want everybody to do it. Just let him know. Or just, actually, if you can't be bothered to open Twitter, because it's a bit of a mess of a website at the moment, just use Twitch chat. I want everyone to spam Archer is old in Twitch chat, please. Thank you. Anyway, back to the game. Let's see how this Rift Herald gets used. We rambled about that for a little bit, so I guess we should probably talk about it.
Yeah, and with the dragon being up, I mean, okay. I know a lot of people will be sad about this, but Cloud Drake is not the most efficient, especially when it's not a soul. So a lot of the teams will usually side-eye it, but Stefan is not going to side-eye that. Top lane opportunity for a dive. There is a cask, there is a flash, there is a slam, there is a very fed Udyr and Keb. What have you got?
He has his stun. He has his stun for a little bit. Oh, no, he's down. Stefan does take 2 shower shots, but not too many. And that was just a very clean dive by Riddle, to be honest.
Oh, and the timing was impeccable, actually, because the entirety of Dusty had reset. Everyone is walking back to their lanes right now, so Dusty get absolutely 0 from Kerberos' death. So many minions are going to crash underneath his tower, which Linces is actually going to cash in. But Kerb right here is actually suffering that. B1 Jax is being punished right here. And if you've got a minute, I'd like to talk to you about our Lord and Savior, Gragas. I think this champion has been under the radar for the longest time now, because I feel like there is nothing he can't do. He can carry, so Kingen carry with him, he can tank, he can bully champions in lane, his sustain is insanely good to put up with bullies like the Jax, like the Fiora, like the Darius. And honestly, his disengaged peeling potential is also off the roof. And especially when you have 2 very short range AD carries, like the Action, like the Lucian, the spacing that Jax Blanc can create in fights with the Gragas is going to be extremely pivotal for Riddle's team fighting success.
That was a nice little trade by Curve, though. But then again, the passive just means he sustains back up, so it doesn't really result in too much. Linkus is moving over towards the mid lane. Looks like their intention will be to put the Herald down at this tower, get some pressure towards the Herald, towards the Dragon, sorry. But they haven't really got a great wave setup on the bottom side of the map. So actually, it just looks like they get a couple of plates, they get a bit of a chunk, and yes, they do rotate members over. Backline does look for the chains onto Stefan, but that is really going to be it. They can't translate this into a dragon, so all that talk about what they can do with it, unfortunately, doesn't really result in much as Curb forced to flash away from Jaxplank. Maybe Jaxplank thinks he's safe here. He's going to use everything to clear the wave, and Curb is going to try and turn this fight back around. The Grandmaster's might has been used. Just needs one more auto, but he doesn't have the flash. He gets the pop, and Curb finds the kill.
Okay, what? I don't know what the vision was like for Jaxplank right there, but Curb just walked out and got inside that bush. Linces, though, in the meantime.
Linces just dodging around the bubble narrowly there. Very, very crisp. But Stend is chunked out, and... Wait.
Not again.
Linces,
Not the
is
bush
he going to
again.
go for it? No way.
Bush again.
No way. Oh, the insect! That was so smooth! Absolutely beautiful from Linces.
You know what my favorite thing about Lee Sin plays is that you can pull the nuttiest kick and then instantly miss your cue straight after on a target that's not moving. You know what? Giga Chad Linces right there. He's like, I don't even need to use my Q because I want to give my carry to the kill to my carry. Never mind, he got that kill as well. It makes no sense what I'm saying. He missed his Q. It's fine.
He wanted. That's what he'll say. He'll say I was trying to give it over, but then I had to secure it, so that's why I took it. That's the big brain play. That's how you sell the mistake as a planned accident. But unfortunately, they didn't give it over to Den. Oh, let's see. Oh, it's this top lane. Okay, so this is how Curb got chunked early and then was forced to flash.
All right, so we'll see that Kerberos right here goes in, gets hit by the cask. So pretty much Jaxplank right here has used every single cooldown he has on the Gragas. Kerberos will use his Counter-Strike and walk out. And at this point, I'm not sure. Okay, flash for flash, doesn't want to get slowed. And Kerberos is like, Jaxplank loses complete. Oh my God, thank you so much for the vision toggle right there onto Jaxplank. Because I think walking that close to the tower and seeing that Kerberos is not underneath that tower should be a little bit stinky. He's somewhere around. You have the the river warded with a control ward. That means Kerberos is somewhere towards the top side where the alcove is. But Linces pulling another gank towards that bot side of the map. He's going to take the flash first from Kevo, and then he's going to do some Kerberos gaming. He's going to walk back, get into that bush, be extremely patient, and then pull an insect onto Kevo by burning his flash. And actually, I've been taught this is not a kick flash. Sorry, this is not a flash kick. This is a kick flash, if we want to be extremely technical. Talking about technicalities, I think Kerberos is dead.
Yeah, I think you mean Lingus, but Curb is dead as well. Down they go. 2 members dead. Nash heavily chunked out. Dusty got a pretty heavily chunk onto Don Voxney, and they are going to try and answer out of a tower. Backline finds a cheeky assassination off onto Nash, but he's being run down by multiple members. Distorts over the wall. He's not going to face check facing, right? There's no way. Nah, he's all right. Able to walk away, but Dusty, making a couple of mistakes there and getting heavily chunked out.
I feel like having both of your solo lanes actually blind pick both the Jax and the LeBlanc has kind of hurt them, because even though Facen is down about 20 CS, he's on a champion that scales a lot. Also, the kit is something that is extremely valuable, especially if you kill somebody that has killed someone else. Your teammate comes back to life. So let's watch this again. Kerberos gets caught by the cask. Stefan is there, eats the entire action ult as well, and Linces gets caught by the wave, yada, yada, yada. But bot lane, Kevo overextends. He's in a 1 versus 2, and Nash will die to backline. I think he found him in the river. Yeah, okay, he found him in the river. Really nice stuff right there. Oh, just about doesn't get hit from the Jaxplank body slam. But all in all, it is a 2-for-2. Bot lane tower ended up going down for Dusty. But on the other hand, what I want to say is that with this counter picks, you see Kerberos is suffering in the top lane. Jaxplank is doing pretty well onto this AP Gragas. And as from mid lane, we know that backline is an absolute monster onto this LeBlanc. You give him 1 kill, he run over your entire game in an even worse way than the Silas. But here, he hasn't been able to accelerate. Jaxplank under attack.
Link is dodging away on the cask. Unfortunately, not going to quite get in range to get the kickoff, but they're bringing Backlund over as well. The chains need to connect here. They're going to flash away, hold it. And that was a lovely escape there from Jaxplank, but with 3 members topside and the Herald in the pocket, another charge will go through and chunk this tower. Not enough to kill it, but Curb able to get himself a little bit of additional gold, but he's being run down. The Everfrost will lock him in place. And they are just going to threaten jumping onto Curb, but Facing in the meanwhile, with multiple members pulled over, going to get a heavy chunk out of this mid lane tower. The Hex Flash coming over the wall as Facing is going to look to run away, but he's caught out by the depth charge. Flashes and everything away from Sten. A lot burnt there from Facing to survive.
That was a very clever flash right there over the wall so that the anchor cannot connect after the ultimate from Stand. Sure loses his flash, but he ends up staying alive, and that was all for the sake of pushing that mid lane. As you will see, Stefan is around that mid lane, helping Facing push down that wave. But while this whole thing was going on the top side of the map, of course, they took tier 1 with the Herald. They almost got tier 2 with the Herald for the side of Dusty. Then Voxney had to sit underneath his tower in the bot lane. He's about 1.5 items in, same as Illusion. Illusion right now does a lot more damage because it's all about the burst together with the action, and there's a lot of squishy members on the side of Dusty. The Lee Sin, the LeBlanc, the Varus. You hit one of them, Udyr and Gragas are going to absolutely destroy them together with Lucian and Action. So I feel like Dusty's positioning is going to have to be extremely crucial, because if you get hit by any CC that Riddle are going to throw your way, there is a lot of burst damage that will take somebody extremely low and will either kill them, will either kill them or just zone them away from the fight.
It's fine. English is hard.
I know, man. You tell me.
Preaching to the choir here. Oh, good cleanse from Kevo, but it should be the end of the mid lane tier 1 as it is taken out. Then Voxney, it would actually get a fair amount of damage onto Stefan. Only a little bit, but, you know, fair amount. As Jaxplank's coming in on the flank, looking for a potential cast onto Den Voxney. Caps him into the wall. Not going to do anything here, as they do find a little bit of damage onto Linkus with the ultimate blocked out. And Dusty just going to get a free tower there. Meanwhile, top lane, Curb with Demolish, able to pop himself another tower. That's 600 Gs in the pocket for him. He is sitting very, very pretty right now, and slowly started to become that split push menace I was talking about on the Jax. This is what he does whenever he gets on the likes of like a Nasus or a Jax, or, you know, even back in the old day, Kale. Curb is a player who thrives in the side lane isolated.
Yeah, and right here we see him on one of his signature-ish champions, because Darius and I guess Nasus come to mind first, but he's played a hell lot of Jax this season as well. And even though he's been struggling a little bit in the early stages of the game, of course, in Stefan gank top lane, Jaxplank on this Gragas seems to be doing much better in this 1 versus 1 rather than Darius in the previous game. Again, my problem right here for Dusty is that, yes, they're sitting very comfortably, 2,000 gold up, but they haven't necessarily been able to break this game open yet. It's been a very slow game in terms of dragons. 20 minutes in, only one taken away. And the second one will spawn very close to 22 minutes into the game, and it's going to be that Ocean Drake. So, in terms of Soul, we're nowhere near. In terms of Baron, the teams have quick Baron plays, but it's from the side of Riddle, and Riddle right now, they're in a momentum where they'd rather wait, they'd rather sit back, they'd rather wait for Action to get pretty strong so they can take him into the fights later on.
Oh, double chain to pop. A lot of damage comes out, but Facing able to get the shield off. And now Backlund has used his ultimate, and Stefan's going to be chasing him down. He does have the flash, he does have the distort. He's actually going to try and go the other way around. Tidal Wave's going to connect in. No, he pops back.
Oh my god.
Backlund is giving the old runarounds. The LeBlanc special, baby. Nobody able to catch him. Meanwhile, his team have already done almost half the HP of Nasher. Kevo's trying to get the damage off of the Curb, but Curb just eats it up with the counter strike. And that just completely mitigates the damage coming out from him. Sten's going to tank most of this, and now it's going to be down to the 50-50 burn! Kicking out and securing the Nash for his team! That is one down, though, for the side of Riddle, and Den Voxney has been left on his lonesome. He flashes over the wall. Stefan continues to chase him down with a chilling smite. Stend is going to make sure that Den Voxney does not go down today. Hook goes between the goalposts. I'd say maybe a little luckily for his team here, as Curb is doing it again, jumping into multiple people, lands the stun, the fish is caught, the fish is ignited, but the heal from Kevo will save the day, and in comes Jaxplank with a 2-man Everfrost to lock them all down. Demboxy has no chains, he has still got the life though, and the tower out his pocket as he secures a kill for his team. A Baron and a kill over to the side of Dusty. Facing may get a dragon, but it is a consolation prize at this point.
This is the craziest gameplay that we're seeing right now for Kerberos. jumps into 3 people. Another teleport is coming in. Jaxplank joins this fight. All in all, though, it is Dusty with a successful Baron. It is Dusty with 3 buffs secured in the team. And we're talking about how it was really difficult for them to break open the game due to Backland's gameplay in the bot lane. They have managed to get that Baron, and they can actually now successfully siege. They've got Stefan, but I think he's going to be safe for now.
Well, Stefan, yep. Oh, actually, might be Curb who's in trouble. Then Voxy's on the flank, does like the chains. Sten misses the hook, unfortunately, but Mason is annihilated. Curb with a 2-man stun! And it is an absolute whitewash of a fight. That Udin might be strong, but he ain't going to be strong enough to survive the 5 members of Dusty as Curb secures a double kill. Absolutely beautiful play from Dusty.
Yeah, and from a 2,000 gold lead straight into a 5,000 gold lead. And with 4 members down and dead, and with a Gragas that cannot defend, it's going to be your entire jungle gone. It's going to be your mid lane tier 2 gone as well. And it's going to be a bunch of vision wards going down in Riddle's jungle. Which means that the next time you're going to be face checking that jungle, there might be a LeBlanc, there might be a Listen there, and somebody's getting one shot. So far, again, so good by Dusty. They faced the early game difficulties by blind picking 2 of the solo laners, but it's somehow coming back to life again through what else? Through team fighting, which is what they're really known for.
Really, really clean game coming in from Dusty, or at least the tail end of this game. I say tail end, we're mid-game, but you know what I mean. Their early definitely was less explosive, but we kind of hit on this during the pause. It felt like Riddle had made less mistakes early, had picked a comp that was, you know, a bit harder to punish, at least in the solo lanes. And now Dusty they're just showing up where we expect them to show up. You know, in these team fights, like you were saying, just playing super crisp, super smart as Stefan is looking here for Sten. Sten's going to flash away from everything thrown onto him. Does get himself almost out, but unfortunately not able to do so. Kevo going low HP, though. The belly bop doesn't quite connect onto Den Voxney, and now his team can turn it around. The kick's there. Curbs over the wall. A double kill to Backland on his LeBlanc as he's looking for Jaxplank. A triple kill over to Backland. Stefan being chased down. They're just going to Hex Portal behind him. Oh, no. Stefan is being hunted. Backland jumps over the wall to chase onto him. Linkus is going to keep the pressure up as well, but that is such a quick Udyr. I think he should be able to get away from this one, and Den Voxney and gang probably just going to turn their attention towards getting a little bit more pressure in that mid lane.
Hey, if I was then, I would type in all chat, worth it? Question mark. the classic solo QBM. Of course, I'm kidding right here. Stand ends up face checking,
oh my word,
but his team is just so freaking far ahead that they're able to turn this around. That Voxney does so much damage on the turnaround right there that he's able to almost kill 2 people on his own in a 1 versus 3. And of course, Dusty, we've talked about the coordination. They're so quick to turn onto somebody. Wait,
no way.
They
He's going to try and actually get it out with the Ram stance just to make sure he doesn't get hit by the CC. Ultimate down by Stend, but they are just toying with their food. Oh. And the big thing about this is they're delaying the kill. Yes, they used 2 ultimates there, but they delayed the kill, staggering that. Everybody else has now respawned, and Stefan has now got 40 seconds where he's not on the map. So this just extends the amount of time Riddle are down a team, down a member. And like you were talking about earlier, Stefan really is kind of like the key pivoting point for this team right now. Like he was very strong ahead early. He's obviously a real nuisance in the fights running around. And, you know, Riddle are now down their jungler, who's going to be super crucial for them when Dragon's going to be up, Baron's going to be up. They're going to want to try and contest all these things. Speaking of junglers getting in trouble, Linkus getting a little chunked out there.
Yep, he's trying to fight 2 of the squishier members off the side of Riddle, but...
That's a big pop, but that's a dead LeBlanc. In response, the Lucian falls as well. But that was a lot of damage coming in. Linkus actually going very, very low. Not going to be going down, however, as Jaxplank may just actually look for this. They do speed them up. The flash belly bomb! Ling is able to survive just a little bit longer, but the bubble is huge! Nash is finding all the key targets! And Den Voxney has nobody to hide behind. He's not finished up by the ultimate. They try to come in with the shield. The kick connects in! What the hell was that, Lingus? You played that beautifully! A double kill onto the Lee Sin. Nash on the run. Ward hop forward, and all it takes is 1 final Q. And the chains are flashed away. Nash just about slivers out of that one, but oh my word, Lingus, absolutely beautiful.
What was that play coming in from Linces? Holy guacs, that was absolutely stellar. It was on the millimeter, it was on the millisecond, and absolutely demolished Dusty. And honestly, this game is all about Linces and then Vox and the way they're playing together. But backline is all the way in the backline of Riddle and Stefan. He's running away. Wait, never mind. He's going straight back to the fountain.
That was disgusting.
Quick reset. Quick reset.
Backlund almost kills Kevo here. Chains are on. He's gonzo.
Stop it.
Just LeBlanc things here as
Surely not a triple,
Mason?
right?
Nah, he's too low. There's no way. Right?
Oh,
he does
ult is
not
not
have ult. Yeah, if he had
ult.
ult.
Is not that, okay.
Meanwhile, his team secured Dragon and are now doing Baron. So we were watching all that hype stuff coming out of LeBlanc, but the real gameplay is happening over here at the Purple Worm. As with them Vox
I just want to say that this is how the first Baron started as well, Heatbrain. It was Backlund doing his little nuisance things down the bot lane, keeping 3 people busy, but back then he was running away from 3 people. Right there, he was running down 3 people at this point. That's a 3.5 item. LeBlanc, Medja is completed, 14 stacks on it, Baron Dapper team. Dusty right here sitting very comfortably in 11k gold. And Kevros is trying his limits again.
Yeah, Curb's just dead, right? Oh no, the chains! The gang's all here, baby! Curb just baited them all. Oh my word. I should look at the mini-map. I should look at the mini-map before they get a call something. I was just like, he's gonzo.
How long has it been since you played League of Legends, Heatbrain?
Oh, you don't want it. September. Genuinely. I've been watching League, but like playing League's a different story for me at the moment. They are going to take down that inhibitor in the mid lane and now turning their attention towards the top lane tower. Inhib will probably be next up to follow. Stefan maybe seeing if he can play some level of a nuisance as Backlund dodging away, and that is 1 dead fat man. 2 inhibitors down, Baron in the pocket, 2 members down as well. I'm gonna hazard a guess here, Trouble, but this might just be the end of the game. Another 30-minute banger coming out from Dusty. Not before they take out Stefan on his Udyr. Not before Kevo gets chunked out, but is able to survive just a little bit longer. Backlund's clone does go down. 30 minutes on the clock, and there we go. Dusty go 2-0 in the series.
I'm actually speechless because